Before I get started, I just wanted to apologize for how bad my previous video turned out. I didn't articulate very well why I don't like the first World of Remnant videos. I'm still new at this and I wanted to save my main points for this video. World of Remnant is an exposition series for RWBY. It supposedly exists to deliver information we wouldn't otherwise get in the actual series. If not that, then at least sum up what we already know about a particular subject. Exposition is very important for a fantasy series like RWBY, which has its own world and its own rules. Surely Roosterteeth realizes this. How do I figure that? Because they set it in a school. The whole point of setting something like RWBY in a school is so that exposition and world building can be done organically in a way that still allows characters to interact. Why do I hate the first World of Remnant so much? Because they completely ignore that. How much better would it be if Glinda narrated the one on Dust, Oobleck explained the historical significance of the kingdoms, Port discussed the behavior of the Grimm, then maybe have Salem give insight on Aura. This is what happened in Volume 1. Dust, Kingdoms, and Grimm were all articulately introduced in the first seconds of the show. Those first minutes render the first World of Remnant null and void. The whole purpose of having Jean know nothing was to have Aura and Grimm explained to him by Pyrrha. This, just a few episodes before, Glinda would explain the health bar, Oobleck would discuss the faunus history, and Pyrrha would say what a semblance is. Luckily, they fixed a lot of that in the second batch of World of Remnant. Firstly, having Ozpin, a professor, be the narrator. Shannon McCormick does a lot better than Jen Taylor, though he's still a little too distant for my taste, but at least being aloof is part of his character, whereas Salem is only distant like that in the World of Remnant videos. Seriously, compare how she talks in the first episode of RWBY with her work in Volume 2, and you'll see what I mean. The 5th through 8th World of Remnants are also a lot more beautiful to look at, especially the maidens. The big complaint is that most of the information we get in these videos were stated in a better and more organic way in the series proper. The Vital Festival World of Remnant is actually the exception. Yes, it states a lot of stuff that would be said in the Volume 3 premiere, but it was poorly done in that episode, so the victory actually goes to the World of Remnant. Here we learn the historical significance of the Vital Festival, which is something we learned in Volume 2, but talking about Vital without the Great War is like talking about Black History Month without Martin Luther King. Or having a RWBY recap video that doesn't talk about Cinder being the one that united the villains and hacked the CCT. But who would be so stupid? My favorite aspect of this is one that comes from inference and not what is actually shown or told. The tournament is not a competition, at least I don't think so. It is a showcase of what the next batch of huntsmen can do. It reassures the people that their safety is in capable hands. For instance, we know Sun lived in Vacuo but moved to Mistral. Maybe he did it because Haven had demonstrated to have better huntsmen in their academies. Maybe that's why Vale, though the main setting for most of the show, is the one we know the least about, because Ozpin and Beacon Academy are so good at their job that, as Crow says in the Vale video, the people in that kingdom don't have to worry a lot. Which is why Cinder chose the tournament as the foundation of her scheme. Speaking of Huntsman and Crow, the Huntsman video also offers some good information, but it's rendered pointless in the episode Lessons Learned, when Crow summarizes its main points in like 3 lines. Huntsmen are supposed to be the defenders of humanity, but for that reason are given a lot of freedom, so naturally huntsmen abuse it. It seems that the huntsmen go on Captain America Civil War rules in terms of heroics. Atlas is Team Iron Man, and the rest are Team Cap. On a side note that I'll reaffirm next time, we really need a timeline with the whole Mantleverse Atlas thing. Because right now, it seems like the writers are playing fast and loose with the chronology and when the changes were made and why. Speaking of Atlas, the CCT World of Remnant is the least interesting and the most necessary World of Remnant. There's a lot of neat little tidbits in this video that haven't come up in the actual series. The one thing that has come into play isn't really said in the main series, but when it happened, all those who watched the World of Remnant had a leg up on those who didn't when it came to what's going on. The lack of spaceflight is a neat hint at the origin of Dust. It does more to show what an average huntsman does than the actual huntsman world of Remnant. I mean, there's probably hundreds of huntsmen that just make sure the network stays up, which is also the opening to Grim Eclipse. Segues are weird. The Maiden World of Remnant is beautiful but pointless. Now, I am aware of the behind-the-scenes events that led to this video existing. This video was the original script for when the Maidens were introduced in the episode Fall, but was too long, so they summed it up and turned the full thing into the video. The art is breathtaking, and Ozpin's narration is on point, especially if he does turn out to be related to the wizard. That doesn't excuse the fact it is the exact same story. We could have learned more about the maidens themselves, like, where are they now? What's the age limit? What happens when a maiden gets old? How long has the Illuminati sheltered them? If you don't listen to the Volume 3 commentary, you probably wouldn't even know that the maiden's magic isn't tailored to their season. All of them can use all the elements. Wouldn't that be worthy of putting into a World of Remnant video? So those are my general thoughts on the second batch of World of Remnant videos. Tune in next time when I tackle the recent string of World of Remnant.